Hi, my name is Paul Kelly. I live in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia.
My name's Lynn and I'm from the southeast of England.
Hey, I'm Russ from New Jersey and the US.
My home track is Sandown. It's about 20 minutes from where I live. So it's nice and easy to get to. It has more than enough events throughout the year to keep us busy, but also go to a lot of other tracks close to home as well.
I'm a track marshal at Brands Hatch.
My home track is Lime Rock Park in Connecticut, but I also volunteer at NJMP in South Jersey and Watkins Glen in upstate New York.
My first weekend as a flag marshal was at Phillip Island, which is about an hour's drive from where I live.
I started marshalling at Brands Hatch in the spring of 2010.
I started marshalling when I lived in Singapore in 2011.
I like volunteering as a flag marshal, not only because I like the outdoors anyway, but also just of all the people I've met and good friendships I've made with other marshals, meeting people from different areas of racing, including drivers and marshals who work different areas of the track, and just enjoy the stories and especially from some of the older marshals who have got a lot of experience and some good stories to tell about how things have changed throughout the years. Just love all that sort of stuff.
I've always loved motorsport and started marshalling to get close to the action and feel involved in the sport.
I started volunteering because I wanted to get involved in motorsports hands-on and not just be a spectator.
My favourite track would be Bathurst. It's in New South Wales. It takes me about 8.5, 9 hours to drive there. Many of you would know it for the Bathurst 1000 V8s, but also has the 12-hour at the beginning of the year in January, and the Easter Motor Festival. All these events are really good. I love the track because it's challenging, not only as a marshal, especially on blue flag, in some of the areas you have very little time to judge the cars, but it's challenging also for the drivers, and a very interesting circuit to be at. I just love the atmosphere of Bathurst. My favourite driver at the moment is Mark Winterbottom with Team FBR, with the V8 Supercars. I'm a Ford man, but I can't go past the legend of Peter Brock. I think most of us have some connection with him here in Australia. Just a great man, loved the sport of racing, and so always been our memories. Racing class. I love the GTs. Racing class are the best ones, just with all the different types of cars and the speed and things like that are really excellent. Love it.
So, Brands Hatch is my favourite circuit, of course. It's home away from home. The Lotuses are my favourite series, anything with Lotuses in really. The driver skill range is so diverse. There's good wheel-to-wheel racing from front to back of field, and there's normally good full grids. They are just such good fun. Favourite driver, Nico Rosberg is my favourite driver at the moment, Formula One. Mika Häkkinen is my all-time favourite driver, but I also like Rob Austin in the British Touring Cars and Martin Tomczyk in the DTMs.
My favorite racetrack is Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi because I really enjoy flagging using the light system. My favorite racing series is any kind of endurance racing, like Le Mans. I really enjoyed the 24-hour Le Mans, as well as American Le Mans series before it changed to the United Sports Car, and Asian Le Mans series. I also really like Australian V8 Supercars, German DTM series, and the Japanese Super GT. My favorite driver is Igor Sushko. I got one of his posters at the last SEMA show I attended, and it really amazed me that a Ukrainian driver is making a name for himself overseas.
Well, I love as I said before, the friendships mainly that I have. Just the laughs, the good times, the barbecues we have at the end of the race meet, talking about the near misses and stuff that we had at our flag point. All these things just make it a great weekend.
The people, the community. Since I've been marshalling, I have made so many friends from so many different walks of life, and we've got this one thing that we're all passionate about: motor racing. There's a real sense of family, a sense of community spirit, and I love it.
My favorite thing about motorsport marshalling is being able to change the outcome of the race, hopefully for the better.
Well, I don't think many of us like those wet, cold days. You don't mind if it's a little bit of a shower or a bit of a cold breeze, but when it's pouring out of rain and you've got a freezing cold wind, and you know you're standing out there for 8 hours at a track where you've got no protection, it can make the day pretty long and miserable, but we get by, and at the end of the day we always still have a laugh.
Torrential rain down the back of my neck usually, or seriously, there's always one idiot that ignores the yellow flag, and quite apart from disregarding marshal safety, it just means that we end up leaping over the Armco every time that idiot comes around, which means it takes us longer to clear up whatever the mess is.
My least favorite things about motorsports marshalling is the lack of training. I wish the FIA and the local clubs would do more to train everybody consistently.
I haven't had too many yet. I've seen some big smashes. I've had a few cars hit the flag point where I've worked at. I think the Aussie cars at the V8 event at Winton last year, it was a big smash at turn 2. They hit some oil on the track and it's just one car after another. It just looked like they were all chained together going into the wall. I reckon that's the craziest smash that I've witnessed being trackside. So, but there's so many, and they all have their moments. So I love having an exciting weekend like that.
Okay, I don't think I've got any crazy experiences particularly. I've seen drivers do some crazy things, and I've seen some really narrow escapes. One that springs to mind was at Brands Hatch last summer on Westfields. There was a pack of VW Golfs, maybe a dozen or so, really closely packed. And they went around the corner, and one of them took off from the middle of the pack, like vertically. It somersaulted a few times and eventually ended up on its roof in the gravel. Now, we thought it was a biggie. We thought the driver was in serious trouble until we saw him sprinting across the gravel and leaping over the Armco. I have no idea how he got out of that car so fast, but he was fine. The car wasn't.
My craziest and most fun experience was the 2013 24-hour Le Mans when I got to push one of the stricken prototypes that spun off in the grass back on track, and he won the race.
Fortunately, in Victoria, we're spoilt a bit. Apart from Sandown, Phillip Island, I also have the F1s in Albert Park right in the city. It's only about an hour away. And about 3 hours away, I drive up to Winton, and also had V8s and a lot of state and national rounds at all these tracks. So Winton, Phillip Island, Sandown, I could do 20, 30 events a year just at those 3 tracks. Bathurst is the furthest I travel at the moment in New South Wales, but really looking forward to be able to do some more tracks interstate and eventually get to some overseas. Really would look forward to doing that. And like I said before, I've already met so many people from different parts of the world, and so I really look forward to working at some of those tracks with them.
I haven't done any international marshalling, although that is on my to-do list. Within England, apart from Brands Hatch, I've also done Linden Hill Circuit and Silverstone.
I often travel to volunteer around the US and internationally. It's a great way to see the world.
Well, if you come to Australia, just be prepared for all sort of weather. Extreme heat, freezing cold. Tracks like Phillip Island, you can get all 4 seasons in one day. You start off sunny, you get rain, the wind can get up. So you've just got to pack your bag with everything from t-shirt up to full kit of wet weather gear. That's what it's like over here. And then you can be somewhere like Bathurst, where the heat for the 12-hour can get pretty extreme, high 30s into 40 degrees. So just be prepared for that. We are looked after pretty well at most of our tracks here as far as food and stuff, but always bring plenty of water with you. You can never do without that over here. And also, I think most of all is bring a good sense of humour. We're a great bunch of guys over here and girls, and we love having a bit of a laugh and a lot of fun We take our jobs seriously, but we love having a good time too, and we always make our visitors very welcome. So I'd love to see you over here if you haven't been able to make that trip. Make Australia on your travel calendar.
If you're going to come and marshal in England, then pack for all weather and do not believe a word the weatherman says. It doesn't matter what time of year it is, we can have snow and a heatwave in the same weekend. As for food, if it's a warm evening, fish and chips on the beach. If it's cold, then steak and ale pie in the pub.
Whenever Marshals visit the US, I always recommend sightseeing and trying the local cuisine.
Thanks a lot. See you later.